How's it going, connectors? Welcome to another fresh episode of Staying Connected, where we seek stories that connect us with one another. There's just too much emphasis on differences that we forget that we're just one big community. We seek to learn about life lessons, experiences, setbacks, vulnerabilities of one another. We're here to share through open and honest conversations. How's it going, guys? I'm Kenny.
And I'm Scott. Let's go ahead and jump into it. For today's episode, we have a special guest with us. We have Kris. Hey, Kris.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. She is a person who has done many things in her life through our research, environmental conservation, working in nonprofits, foodie expert, influencer, animal lover. I see many different hats.
Superwoman.
This conversation might go in any other direction, but we're gonna start with just asking you about your time when you're with the crew training on the Polynesian Voyaging Society. So can you tell us more about that?
Oh yeah, that was really one of the coolest experiences of my life. It was several years ago now, but I don't know if you recall back when Hokulea was doing her worldwide voyage.
That was
yeah, it was really cool. So that it was really neat to get to do crew training. So I went through the crew training and trained on not Hokulea herself because she was out on her voyage, but did some training on this other va'a they have down at the Metsi, the Kama'uheheu, and on Hikianalia as well. Just a few training sails, and it's just like it's really amazing to see all of the work and everything that goes into it, but also the cultural connection and like the deep meaning that that is just tied into just the culture of sailing and reconnecting with ancient roots and everything like that. And the mission too of Malama Honua really resonated with me because, like it's this idea that, we're on an island. So we in Hawaii kind of understand that, we got to take care of each other, take care of the environment, because we have limited resources. We're on this little island in the middle of the ocean. But they brought in that concept to be island Earth. So all of us on Earth are on this island in, the middle of space. And we all got to kind of take care of each other, take care of this one island Earth that we have in order to live, basically. So it was really cool.
I know we found it very fascinating how you're, continuing to stay connected with culture here in Hawaii, plus the environment, which is, a very critical thing here that we all try to, sustain and take care of.
So what was the most difficult thing about doing all of that?
Oh, the most difficult thing is I get seasick.
Oh no.
not the best sometimes in certain conditions, but nah, it was super cool. At one point we did this overnight training sail to Lanai, and well, we didn't get like to Lanai, but we saw it and then we were like, yay, and then we came back. But but it was really neat. You kind of learn everything that goes into it. Like everyone has their own jobs, you have different watches, you go to sleep in your bunk, and then you wake up for your watch, and it's just like a really, really neat experience. And I met some really awesome people and learned a tremendous amount from that too. And actually got to volunteer to be on shore when Hokulea was coming back from her worldwide voyage, and she sailed like by Magic Island.
Yeah, everybody was there. It was a whole festival of just.
It was amazing. Got to kind of like give lei and greet the other crew members from the other va'a and baka that came in from other islands and everything. So it was just like really, really neat.
Kris, for those that don't know what is the Hokulea or what do they do, can you tell us more about that and the significance of the Hokulea?
Yeah, sure. So the Hokulea, it's a sailing canoe. It's like a native Hawaiian canoe. And what they do is they are able to navigate using the stars and the elements and even animals, things like birds, where this bird is likely flying back to land, so you can follow signs like that as well. And it's really really like a revival of our roots, or not our, but the Native Hawaiian roots, where they were able to come to Hawaii in the first place through voyaging, and that art was lost through the years, but then revived through the guidance of like Maopialug and the Polynesian Voyaging Society's work, basically, to keep this like amazing tradition and skill alive today.
So how does one become a crew member? The hokula, is you handpicked, you have to be selected, or?
In a way, yeah. So you have to go through the training to make sure you know how to actually sail. And I think now, I'm not sure about how it is now, but at the time it was this kind of, I believe, 3-part training that we went through. I think it might be different now, but basically once you go through that, then if you show up enough, if you are there to help, take care of the va'as when they're on dry dock, like, you're helping to fix, you show up on your free time and help out, then you might get invited to sail along with them. But you gotta put in the work.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there is the hokulea, and then there are other canoes. That, so yeah, the hokulea is like the main boat. And
basically, yeah. Also, and there's other ones too, like Hikianalia is like her sister canoe, basically.
Is this common knowledge in like school? They teach this in school? Because I did not learn about this at all. Like,
really?
Yeah, I did not.
I feel like I learned about it. Yeah, in Hawaiian history.
Oh, we didn't have that. we didn't have that in my school.
So, but yeah, it's definitely such a great experience that you got to experience that.
It was really cool.
We're all about connecting with culture and finding people to talk to see what they've done to help the culture and also share their knowledge of everything.
So this is a good segue into more of so we're talking about the environment and conserving it. You have a big passion in nature conservation, which is funny because when we took a look at your college and your education, you majored in biology and with the Chinese or Mandarin. So
yeah,
were you always interested in conservation? Or
yeah, I was. I mean, I've always ever since I was like a little kid, I've always loved animals, loved nature, that kind of thing. And I guess when I went into college, I was interested in 3 things, biology, Chinese, and English. And I was like, I'll find my way in college, I'll figure it out, and then I'll just pick the one that calls to me the most. And then I ended up being I'm super indecisive, so I was like, okay, now I'm gonna double major and then keep English as a minor. So I got them all, and I never really picked. But I guess for me, being in going through a biology program and stuff also helped me to learn more about conservation and get more interested in it. I remember some pretty awesome ecology class in college where we got to go camping and things like that, where I got to learn about a whole different ecosystem in California. And then it really got me thinking about Hawaii's ecosystem and conservation and things. So I think that's where it came from.
So what are some current projects that you're doing right now? Where's your passion taking you? Because I know there's a whole bunch of areas in conservation. So which areas are you focusing on right now?
Right now, well, I've helped out with this local nonprofit called Malama Mauna Lua for, over 5 years now, I think. I helped them out with their social media management. But what they do is they Malama, Mauna Lua Bay. So they pull out the invasive alien algae that that really just like it's taken over the bay, like this invasive species. It's like smothering out the native seagrasses and like a lot of the other native species, just because it just kind of carpets the whole like bottom of the bay. So they actually coordinate these huki events where people go in and manually like remove the algae, and then that algae is donated to like local farms for like organic compost and stuff. So it's not wasted, but it's cool to see. Like you can see like the before and after photos. I think they're online too, where like it used to just be like just a blanket of invasive algae, and now there's some progress and there's some native seagrass coming back. So it's pretty cool.
So what's the process of removing that? Is it just simple as just like taking it, plucking it, or is it a very delicate process?
Yeah, well, it's I mean, a lot of it too is an educational component. Like they host school groups, they host like your office group, or they host families and just the general community as well. And it's a lot about teaching people, and especially kids, about the importance of taking care of the environment. And it basically is just pulling it out of the water. There is the risk that, you know, if it fragments, the fragment can float away and then make a new algae, unfortunately. But I mean, the goal is mostly to just remove, like each huki, I've seen some where people remove like 1,000 something pounds of
That's
invasive algae, where, you know, like if you have a big group pre-COVID, a huge group, then many hands make for light work, I guess, as they say.
So how has the pandemic affected all of these huki?
Yeah, so typically pre-COVID, the group sizes could be very large. Like for example, even if it was like a MLK Day of Service or something like that, there could be like 100 people out there, so pulling invasive limu. But now the group has to be small and socially distanced, everyone in masks, even though it's outside, just to be safe. But it's still like, it's still good to get people out there and connected with with nature. So yeah, it's good that they're still able to run a few smaller cookies.
Do you see any other problems with Hawaii's conservation that's not really well known yet? You know, is there an issue we should be looking for as far as like conservation in Hawaii?
There's kind of a lot, but I think just in general, it's a lot of it comes back to just getting people knowledgeable, or even like kind of caring about it. You know, like we in Hawaii are like so lucky. We live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and we have some of the richest biodiversity in the world. They say if Darwin had come to Hawaii instead of the Galapagos, he would have figured out his theory of evolution a lot faster, because if you look at our birds, they're even more kind of an amazing radiation of different species, basically, all descended from the same species. But I digress. It's basically just getting people to care, I think. You know, like that element of reconnecting to nature and finding your why, like why you would want to take care of it. I think that's really important.
So where can people go to find more information about things like this?
There are a lot of conservation groups out there. I would say, you know, especially if you want to find a specific group in your area, I think it just takes a Google search. That's actually how I got involved in Malama Mauna Lua in the first place. I grew up in that area. I grew up, you know, looking at the bay, playing in the bay, loving that bay, and I wanted to be able to give back to to a place in my own neighborhood, essentially. And there's a lot of different environmental nonprofits around the island that take care of kind of different areas, different causes, from tops of the mountains to the shore. So I think it's just a matter of taking a look online, seeing what's out there.
I definitely agree, because I remember growing up and we would always do these beach cleanups at Mona Beach. And it feels like no matter how many pieces of trash I pick up, there's always more and more. It almost becomes like, oh my God, why are we doing this? But now it's like, cycle, if we don't do it, then it's going to be more and more trash, and it's going to affect all the animals, both on land and on sea. Every little bit makes a difference.
I know, absolutely. And they say sometimes in the conservation realm that one of the most endangered things in conservation, right, in this world sometimes is hope, because it is easy to kind of feel like, you know, why am I sifting all this microplastic if there's just like, I just did this piece of the beach and there's like the whole beach.
I remember picking up trash and this one dude was just like littering. I'm like, come on, man, help me out here.
That's so sad.
In the trash can. Yeah, it's like he sees all these people picking out trash and he's just littering. And
wow,
it's quite upsetting.
Another level.
Right. It's quite upsetting.
Put him on blast, social media.
Look at this man right here. Whose man
I know. Look at this guy.
But it's pretty interesting to get to know a little bit more about you and your connection with the environment, because being from Lanai as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, we really focus a lot about, you know, like restoring like limu, for example, and just, you know, taking care of the aina pretty much. So have you ever gotten a chance to travel to Lanai yet to kind of see?
I have when I was a baby, but not when I can remember, and I really want to go.
So yeah, I mean, I guess in the past couple years, I guess the island itself has been, you know, focusing a little bit more on just restoring a lot of the native plants and
awesome
all of that. So yeah, just, you know, whenever you get the chance, hopefully you can.
I really want to.
Just mention Kenny's name.
I guess so. It's a name drop when I'm there.
But yeah, thank you for everything that you've done here so far.
Oh,
and all of the education, because, you know, everybody needs to be educated on the environment, especially here in Hawaii. It's such a beautiful place.
Absolutely. I know.
You did mention in one of your answers that we've asked you that you've been to an island in New Zealand. Uninhabited. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that. What your conservation work there.
That was a really interesting opportunity. And by no means, I don't really like, conservation is not my full-time job, although I do wish it was sometimes, but it's certainly my passion. But in December 2018 and then till January 2019, my boyfriend Jason and I had the opportunity to go down to this little island off of the southern island of New Zealand called Whenuaho, also known as Codfish Island. But it's basically the home of some very, very critically endangered species. We went down because his good friend was studying the Whenuaho diving petrels, which are these small, like really, really cute little seabirds. They're really adorable. They have these blue feet. They're so cute. And they live in burrows, but there's only about 100 something left, like on the entire planet. And they all live there, like on that island. But the other critically endangered species that's there is this amazing, probably one of my favorite birds. It's this flightless parrot called the kakapo. It's like a round green beach ball, essentially, that just walks around on the ground. Actually, wait, I have like a journal that has a picture on it. So it looks like this.
Oh, that's
pretty.
Nice.
And same thing where there's only about like 1 or 200 left like on the planet. So they're really rare. I don't know if have you seen, there's this funny viral video of like a kakapo that went like super viral a few years ago because it this one particular kakapo, his name is Sirocco. He doesn't like mating with girl kakapos. He prefers human heads. So, you should look it up if you haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
so I'm gonna put a
How
link.
do you spell that?
Yeah, the kakapo, Kakapo.
Okay.
He basically climbs up a cameraman's, like a BBC cameraman's arm, and then starts like having a good time on his head, and it's pretty funny.
In the spotlight.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we got to go down to that island for about 2 weeks to help out. It's an uninhabited island except for the rangers who live there part of the year. We went down for 2 weeks, and it was amazing. Like hiking every day in the most beautiful forests and seeing some really cool, really rare animals. Yeah, it was neat.
So if you and Jason ever need volunteers, me and
Yeah.
are available to
I'll
help.
drag you guys out. Yeah, for sure.
Let us know. Let us know. We'd love to help.
Please do. Gotta get some fresh air.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about COVID-19. I know it's been a year already, but has it affected you in any way, personal, work, etc.?
I mean, I think it's affected everyone, but personal, I mean, thankfully, no one in my family has gotten it, which is like the biggest blessing, and knock on wood. But yeah, I mean, at one point there was a scare. My grandma she lives by herself in a kind of a, what is like a residential care facility or something like that. But her caregiver who comes to help her take her medicine every day got COVID. And then, so we had this big scare, and grandma had to like, take test after test after test because it could be false negative. And
Right.
At one point she got a false positive, and then it was negative again. And like she had to quarantine for like 2 weeks and all of that. But thankfully that was kind of one of the only scares. And my job thankfully has I haven't lost my job or anything because of COVID. My company has been really great in keeping everybody through the whole pandemic. And I now work 100% remotely instead of going into the office. Which,
How's that going?
Yeah, how was-
oh, I gotta say, I don't want to go back. It's really nice working from home. The funny coincidence is that I was actually like in probably early February or late January of 2020, I had begun conversations with my boss to ask if I could look into some remote work opportunities. I was like, what, like once a week, maybe, like, let's just try it out. And she was like, oh, okay, maybe. And it wasn't really going anywhere. And then all of a sudden, COVID came, and all of us were just 100% remote. Like
the pandemic.
yeah. And I was like, well, this is like 1 year of trying it out now.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been a year.
It has.
All started.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
How do you I haven't been able to get the pleasure of working from home, but I know there must be a lot of distractions. How do you, and you can chime in on this too because you're working at home, how do you like not let the distractions like get to you and get productive? Is there a certain place you go?
Well, I do have my setup in my living room, so I don't have my bed temptation, which is the biggest temptation. Although I do have my couch temptation, and that sometimes it's tough to resist. But I think it's just, I personally like it actually, because a lot of times in the office, I people would just pop in and stuff, which is so nice. And I do miss that aspect. But then I would like talk story, and then we were all talking story. And I'm like, wait, what was I doing? So in a way, it's kind of good to just be in my own space by myself and kind of be able to zone in on things.
Does it get too quiet?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes I'm like, I just got to go out and like walk or something like that, because I've been sitting in my chair for like 8 hours. I kind of lose track of time. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just like keeping the TV remote away from myself and putting my phone to the side, and then just kind of diving in. And at this point, I'm kind of used to it, I guess. What about you, Kenny? How do you have any methods?
Yeah, I mean, well, I have my office set up in my room, which is next to my bed, but I try not to look at my bed. And then I also put my phone away to the side as well. And I'm a cable cutter, so no TV for me. Yes.
Wow.
And I like it. And it gets pretty quiet where I live, and I have to sometimes sit down like outside on my staircase and just like get some fresh air, and then maybe turn on some music to just keep me awake. So yeah, every now and then I bounce back and forth from like my living room to my room, and then and then every hour I try to get up, do some stretches for like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's a good habit.
When we're constantly sitting down, our lower back, our energy kind of just slowly decreases.
Yeah.
You consider a stand-up desk?
Oh, well, that's one thing I had at work, which I didn't take with me, is a stand-up desk.
I've got my stand-up desk. I brought it back from work.
So that's one thing I missed. But for now, I'm just gonna make use of what I have.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
you can also buy a stand-up treadmill thing you can put underneath, and you can like walk during meetings.
No, I actually looked into it. I was like, maybe I should get this. But who knows how much longer we'll be here.
So,
Have
you gotten your vaccinations? You don't mind asking?
Not yet. I think I'm like not what?
Not old enough yet.
Although I act like I'm 75 plus, you would think that they'd let me in, but no. Did you guys get it?
Yes, I got both already.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the second one was not very.
Oh, really? I was gonna ask if you had any reaction to it.
Oh yeah, what was your reaction?
Oh, but the first one, it was just a regular arm soreness. The second one, oh my goodness, I was out for like a day. It was so I didn't get the first. I had a slight fever, and then it was a lot of body aches. It was I was in a lot of pain.
Oh no!
Which is weird, because then some of my friends who have pre-existing conditions, they were fine.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like I'm pretty healthy.
Okay.
Pretty young. It hit me pretty hard. And Kenny is right after.
Yeah, so I'm actually getting my second one today.
Oh, wow.
So right after this.
Oh gosh, I hope it's okay.
And I'll update you guys on my condition.
Yeah, wow. I hope it's kind of mild. My family got their shots, and their reactions were pretty mild, thankfully. But I mean, I hear that if you have the reaction, that's a good thing. That means it's like working, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Scott, you're like super immune now. Like your vaccine was so effective.
Well, hey, hopefully I'm just waiting on my parents to get vaccinated, if anything, because even though you're vaccinated, you can still pass it on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. So
let's go into some foodie stuff.
Oh boy.
Congratulations on your 4,000 followers.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
we asked Steph like how she got started last time she was on. How did you get started?
I mean, my family like loves food. Like I feel like ever since I was little, like we just kind of had this whole like obsession with food. Like food is one of our love languages, I feel like.
It is.
So food, yeah, food has always been kind of big to us. And my dad especially, like he loves like finding a new restaurant and like going to a new place or trying something new. So that was always kind of ingrained in me. But I feel like it was probably high school when I started, like, we had those little like point and shoot cameras and things. Like our phones were not even good enough to take pictures yet. We'd flip it up and be like, I'll use my little point and shoot. But just started like, I just like started taking pictures of food and like really enjoyed it. And it wasn't until maybe like 3 years ago that I was like, maybe I should just make like a food page, because I have so many pictures of food that's just like sitting on my computer. Like maybe I'll just like post it for myself, just like I remember like, I really liked that, and like, that was so bomb, like. So I just started doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a favorite restaurant on the island? Like your go-to?
Oh my God, I can't pick a favorite restaurant.
I know it's difficult.
That's so tough. That's so tough. Yeah, I couldn't pick a favorite. That's just too tough. I love them all.
Yep.
You don't have one?
It's tough. I mean, depending on what I want to eat.
Exactly.
What's your favorite food? What could you survive a week with? Just eating that.
I really like xiaolongbaos.
Oh.
The soup dumplings, like those are definitely one of my favorite foods.
Too bad there's no Din Tai Fung here.
I know, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I also like really like matcha stuff. So
Yes.
anything with matcha or ube or something, like I could eat that.
And that's the thing about Hawaii. It's, it makes it a lot more fun because it's so diverse here.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get one cuisine here, the other cuisine there, and
totally.
just a melting pot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes it so fun. Like you can have anything you want, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know about Mexican food. Mexican food over here is pretty,
okay, all right. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on how to take good food pictures?
Yes.
I know you.
Let
me
take out my notebook.
Yeah. Me and Kenny too. You guys always take the nicest pictures. Like, oh my God. Like
I'm still learning. I mean, I mostly just use my phone, actually. Like I use portrait mode on my phone. So basically what I do is I just like hold out the food and do portrait mode. But I think what I was like watching this video the other night of like a good angles for food photography, just because I was curious. And she really suggested like the eye level shot is super good. And for your phone, if you're using your phone, you should flip your phone upside down. So the camera is more at eye level rather than coming from above. And I haven't tried that yet.
The second one, it's pretty interesting. It's very unusual when you actually try to shoot it, but it actually, makes a difference.
I gotta try it. I was like, that's such a good tip that I like would not have thought of.
What about lighting? Like where do you want the lighting to be?
Ooh, I mean, the best is outside. Like the best is like natural light, because it's like softer rather than these like direct lights like from your cell phone flash or from like the external flashes and things like that. So best is natural lighting and everything. Ooh, but I want to go back and tell the funny story of how I figured out that you were from Hawaii.
Let's go.
It was so funny because I guess you must have posted something like with your face on your food page at one point. And I was like, wow, this guy looks like so familiar. Like, like I can't figure out where I've seen him before. Like he looks like so familiar. And I was like, like maybe do I know him from like high school or preschool or like something like that? Or maybe I saw him at an event and then I was like, I don't know, I can't figure it out. And then shortly after, I think it was the episode where you had Kelly on.
Yes.
So I
Oh,
think you posted that, Scott, on your story or your page or something. And then I was looking at it, and then I was like, wait, it's coming in Hawaii.
after
And
all.
I was like, whoa, it like connected in my brain, and I was like, oh my god, and I like texted Steph immediately, and I was like, oh my god, guess what?
I know,
So,
I haven't
yeah.
even met you guys in person yet, and
That's
that's
crazy.
what's
I
interesting.
know.
You know, we meet each other.
Need to
virtually.
collab soon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. It's so funny. The island is too small.
We can definitely collab on that island in New Zealand. Awesome. Let's go to some questions, shall we?
Okay.
Okay. Start with the hard questions first.
Oh God.
All of them.
All the questions.
Like I'm in school.
Okay. So what's the kindest thing anyone's ever done for you?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, is it too generic if I talk about my family? Like,
No way.
honestly, like everything, like who I am, where I am right now, everything, it's all thanks to my family. I'm like so grateful to them. Like my family is super close, super tight. And my goal is just to like pay it forward and give back to them as well, because honestly they've done so much for me, and I'm super grateful.
You wanna go? You can. You don't have to look at.
Okay.
You can answer anything.
Okay.
Like I was gonna ask Kris about like her pull-up goals or her pull-up.
Oh my
progress.
God, I'm trying, Scott. I promise I am. I'm getting like slightly better.
Okay.
Okay. Speaking of
Little by
pull-ups.
little.
So working out and being at home, working remotely.
Mm.
What's like your new schedule, your new lifestyle?
Mm.
Specifically
Yeah.
like working out.
Yeah. So I got a kettlebell, which was really nice because kettlebells were like all sold out for like most of the pandemic. And I was like looking, but I finally found one at Target. So I have that I use. But also, thankfully, at my parents' apartment, they have like a gym, and like you can reserve it. So my parents have actually been reserving their apartment gym for like, we do Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays, and we go together as a family, which has been super cute. Like it's like this new family tradition, and we're kind of known as the family that planks, because at the end we always we do a family 2-minute plank.
You should do a Christmas photo of you guys.
Oh my God, we should. That's really funny. We should. Yeah, so it's a fun new like COVID tradition.
What do you guys do for exercises as a family? What's the routine?
Well, we all do our own thing, but we do like I use the squat rack and stuff usually, and like the free weights. My mom likes her like elliptical, but then she does like the machines and stuff. And my dad uses the weights and like also the elliptical, and does like a lot of stretches because he's a doctor and he does a lot of surgery, so his back gets really sore, so he has to like do a lot of like stretches and stuff when we're at the gym. But we all like do our own thing. And my sister, she's currently in medical school at JABSOM, and she comes too, and she does like sometimes she even brings her laptop so she can keep studying while on the treadmill. So then she balances the laptop on the treadmill and like runs or walks so that she can still
everyone comes
move
together
while
for
she
the plank
studies.
time.
And everyone comes together for the
plank time.
That's exactly how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you have 30 seconds to give a PSA and to broadcast your message to the world. Language barrier, doesn't matter because everyone can understand it. What's your PSA to the world?
Ooh. Okay. This is gonna go back on the theme of conservation and sustainability and everything. But one of the quotes that I really like is, you do not inherit the Aina from your ancestors, you borrow it from your children. And that I think has been adapted from, it might have been adapted from a Native American proverb, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But the moment I heard it, it really kind of like changed my perspective, just because I think a lot of times we have like this sense of entitlement, like, you know, like we just kind of like take and take from the planet, like, you know, all the resources and everything, without really thinking like what's going to be left for, you know, our kids or their kids, or, you know, the generations yet to come. And I mean, I know we don't have kids yet, but when I think about like what state of the world I want to leave my future kids and everything, that makes like conservation and sustainability and all these things like so critical, so important. Like, I guess to me, when I think about a lot of the other issues out there, I think a lot of it ties into having a healthy environment. You know, like education is a big need, food is a big need, like housing and all of these things. But if we have a planet we can't even live on, like all of these things kind of are tied back into that. You know, like we need like a healthy environment in order to have some place to go to school, or in a healthy environment in order to have some place to have housing and things like that. So I think it all kind of ties back to that.
Yeah, this pandemic has, you know, been terrible for people, but in a way it's been great for the environment. You know, nature is healing because people aren't there to mess it up.
People. Yeah.
People.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool videos, yeah, of like the Venice canals and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
it's filthy.
beautiful, like
Yeah, but now it's nice.
crystal clear and everything. So.
Dolphins are swimming there and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's so crazy.
You got one, Kenny?
Let's see. One more and then recommendation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe this one.
Okay. All right. So what's your favorite failure? And
favorite failure.
Yes.
Oh my God, I have so many. How do I pick?
She's the best. Your most favorite.
My most favorite failure. Oh gosh, that's so hard.
If you need time to think, we can provide our own example.
Yes, please. I would like to hear this.
Okay, let me think. What did I talk about in the past?
Could be a new favorite failure.
New favorite failure. Most recent.
Yeah,
okay.
Most recent.
Okay. Actually,
you need time to think.
Yeah, let me think.
Okay, Scott, your favorite failure.
Most recent one, I think a couple months back. I was working out deadlifting, right? And at the time, my back was fairly healthy, so I always wanted to go heavy. So this time I went particularly heavy, and I woke up around like 5 because there's no one there at the gym around 5, so I usually like my own space. And I went pretty heavy, and then the moment I pulled it, I felt something in my back. Like, oh no!
Oh no!
Then, yeah, I wasn't able to work out for like a couple weeks, but from that I was able to do some research and look at different core spine stabilization exercises that I could do. And now that's like built up my foundations, is, you know, made me understand like, hey, you need to do these exercises to warm up your body, because I'm getting quite old now, so I can't just stop in there after. But yeah, now that I do those exercises, my spine and my lower back's even stronger than it was, and now I'm able to do more. So a minor setback to a greater comeback. So, might not sound that important, but now okay. I can lift more and feed my ego more, you know. Nothing's better than like lifting that much and then you drop the weight and everyone's like, ooh. Okay.
Okay, for me, this one was, let's see, what, month or two ago. This is when I actually ran into Bruno Mars's dad.
Wow.
So the failure was I was in Kaka'ako area, trying to take photos of like one of my friends just for portfolio stuff. And I guess there was this little pothole that I didn't see while I was taking photos. I kind of tripped, and then, I mean, of course I fell.
Oh no.
Like literally fell. And and then all of a sudden my friend, comes up to me, picks me up, and then I noticed that like my camera had like a small crack in it.
Oh
So
no. It hurts.
eventually, we're still in Kaka'ako, and then my friend was just saying, "Oh, let's go eat at the nearest restaurant," which was Pioneer Saloon, one of my favorites. And then we were sitting down, and from there, he kept on seeing this guy with a leather jacket walking around the whole time. Just, I don't know, looking crazy a little bit. And then I looked, and then me being a Bruno Mars fan, I mean, I did my research, who his dad was, who his family was. And I noticed like, this guy looks like Bruno Mars. So eventually I made my way to the guy and stopped him, asked him, "Are you Peter Hernandez?" And that's that's Bruno Mars's dad's name. And then he was saying, "How do you know my name?" And he eventually said, "Yes, I am Peter Hernandez. Are you a fan of my son?" And then I mean, the rest is history from there. Got a photo with him, and I mean, it ended up being a failure for my camera, and but in the end, I got to meet.
That's awesome.
Do you use your friend's camera?
No, he's mine.
Oh, it still works. Okay.
It still works. That's good.
Yeah.
I was telling Kenny, like, you can tell it's Bruno Mars's dad, because who would wear a leather jacket in like 90-degree weather?
I was gonna say, wow, leather jacket in Hawaii. That stands out.
Hi, Kris. Favorite failure?
So I guess for me, I want to say this is an ongoing failure. Well, not really, but so I picked up surfing during the pandemic, and it's been super fun, like super fun, and like very challenging, because like the paddling part is the most difficult for me, because like I'm like, oh, my arms are so short and my back is so weak, but so it's been like a constant series of failures as I wipe out. But I mean, the reward is that it's like super fun. Like I have this new hobby, and Jason too. We picked it up together, so we like to just kind of go out and surf now. But there's constant failure involved, because I get hammered once the waves are a certain size. We go like kind of various places, but typically rock piles is the main one we go to, or canoes in Waikiki, or we recently kind of found that Kahana, when it has waves, it's super fun. Like I really like it out there. Plus it's kind of nice because the bottom is soft sand.
Yes.
Opposed to
you don't want
corals.
You don't want Waikiki.
Yeah, exactly. So probably a big failure that happened last year was I got vana'd in my foot at rock piles. That wasn't too fun.
It's an experience right there.
There is. Oh my gosh.
But in order to learn how to surf, you got to learn how to fall.
Exactly. And it's been a super good lesson. And like, you know what? I just wiped out massively, got water all up my nose. I like couldn't see. But then you come out and then you just catch the next wave. So it's a good lesson that way.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Let's go into the final part of our podcast, the recommendation of the week. It could be a reflection, a quote, a tip. So since you are our guest, please lay some wisdom on us.
Oh boy. Ooh, okay. This is something I've tried more recently. I'm like a night owl. I like my brain turns on at night. But and so a lot of times when I'm trying to go to sleep, my brain is like super active and I'm like thinking about everything and I'm like, oh shoot, this is like something I had to do. And then I like lie in bed for a long time. Um so something I've been trying is meditation because it came like highly recommended to me by a lot of friends. And I think it's helped a lot to like kind of quiet my like very noisy, scattered brain. And I can't say that I do it as much as I should, but I've done it like several times recently, and I'm liking it. So I'm hoping I'm gonna do some more. But um, I there's this app that I use called Insight Timer, and it has like some of these like kind of guided meditation things that like walk you through the process. And then also I saw this on Netflix. They have this show thing called like the Headspace one. Like it's like a app too, but it kind of explains the process of meditation. And then one of the tips he gave was to envision that you're sitting by like a highway basically, and all the thoughts going by, all the cars going by, those are like your thoughts. And a lot of times what we do is we try to like chase after these cars and then like get on them and like follow them, and then you just like kind of go off on this like the whole freeway like of this particular thought. But he said like what you're supposed to do is just like you recognize thoughts are going by, but you like sit on the side and you just kind of watch them move and you don't chase them. And I like that image a lot because that's totally what goes on in my brain. And it's it's helpful to just try to tell myself, okay, those thoughts are like going around, but I'm just like watching them go by.
We gotta go sit at, on the H1.
Yeah.
I can't sit still. Like I can't
Watch
sit
the
still.
cars pass by.
Watch the cars pass by.
It's a lot of thoughts. during traffic time.
Yeah.
Slow thoughts.
Yep. Slow. Kahana time.
Kenny?
Okay, so going back to Bruno Mars, such a huge fan, and I was super excited when Scott texted me a Twitter screenshot of his new song coming out called Leave That Door Open. And yeah, my recommendation is to give that song a listen whenever you got the chance, because what I love about Bruno Mars is that he's utilizing his talents, plus he's actually focusing on, I guess, a decade whenever it comes to like each album that he comes out. So right now he's coming out with like a 70s sort of vibe. He was doing it with 90s earlier with like him and Cardi B, like 50s, 60s with his first couple albums. And yeah, I'm just loving how, he's being creative and also throwing it back to all the classic sounds that a lot of people, not like our parents, can listen to. So he's definitely appealing to everybody. So whenever you got the chance, listen to that song, Leave That Door Open. It is
very soulful.
It
very
sets
nice.
the mood.
Ooh. I gotta listen to it.
That baby making music.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys, for my recommendation, have you guys watched the movie Soul?
Yeah.
That's from Pixar.
Oh no, I was supposed to.
Anyways, what I took out of that was, some of the things we take for granted, like the mundane things. It's actually the best or the dopest part of our life, like going on walks and like hanging around friends and just doing the little things like nature. I take those things for granted, and especially going for walks, it's like I know there's someone out in the world that doesn't have legs or like has to be in a wheelchair and can't do that. So it made me reflect on a lot of underappreciated things in life, and how I need to start doing them, because one day when I get really old, I can't do them anymore. So just appreciating all the people in my life and all the little things, being able to spend today doing this podcast, with you two and talking about cool, fun things, like that's a privilege for me. So yeah, go watch Soul, and then
Okay.
it's amazing.
That's your homework.
Yes.
I definitely got a little teary eyed. I was like, dang.
Oh.
Dang. I don't ever cry, but I'll get teary.
Well, I'll let you know if I cry.
So, teary. You just lie to me, just get teary. But yeah, awesome. Thank you again, Kris, for taking time, so much for coming on and talking
Thank
about
you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, hopefully, part 2 in the future. We love to hear more about your work with conservation and your passion,
your food.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Any social plugins? How can people learn more about you?
My food Instagram is kanakattackks, because I really like food and I like naps. But the end part is KKS instead of just with 1K, because that's my initials.
Awesome. I love the name. Every time I see it on my feed.
Thank you.
So kanakattackks, make sure to follow her. Yeah, she has so many great foods to try. I mean, for you to try and all that. So
thanks. Right back at you. Come eat Hawaii.
I need to start a food Instagram too.
Join the club. Join the club.
Join the club. Yeah. But aside from that, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to another great, fresh episode of Staying Connected. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on social media. We're on all platforms, and listen to us wherever, whenever on Spotify. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, stay connected, and we'll see you again.